Welcome to FRC Media News for Thursday, December 12th, 2019. I'm Keith Tebow. Tonight we take a look and have an update on a new location for a recovery program for opioid addicts seeking help. We have a list of Christmas presents still needed for residential youth at St. Vincent's Services in Fall River. And we take a look back at the 38th annual Christmas Children's Parade that drew a great crowd down South Main Street last weekend. We'll have those stories and more in just a few moments, but first, let's check in with the news headlines of the week. We bring in Phil Devitt, the digital news editor at the Herald News. Hey Phil, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Keith. How are you?
Good. You know, this time of year our news tends to be a little lighter than normal, which is actually a good thing based on what we faced here in Fall River throughout 2019. But there are a couple of stories I want to go over with you. The Fall River Amazon facility, which opened in 2017, has been pretty much very successful in terms of hiring a number of local residents at the facility in the industrial park area. But this week there was a report released that showed that in 2018 there were a number of injuries at the facility, and you would think that would be common because of so many people who work there at a factory and a warehouse. But it drew some attention in terms of the number of injuries at the facility in 2018. What did we learn?
Yeah, so we picked up on this after a report by the Center for Investigative Reporting, which was about injuries at Amazon facilities nationwide, and Fall River was among the facilities in its reporting. So we sort of zoned in on that a little more. And what we found and what we learned through the same data that the center used was that Fall River's facility, open since, I think, 2017, ranked near the middle of the pack of in terms of total number of injuries of the 27 fulfillment centers documented. 125 workplace injuries reported at Amazon Fall River last year, and Fall River ranks 11th on the list in terms of what are being referred to as serious injuries. Logs kept with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration include sprains, bruising, concussions, lacerations, and abrasions, that kind of thing. But an Amazon spokesperson telling us that their fulfillment centers are relatively safe places to work. You noted, Keith, that there's a lot of folks who work at these places and a lot of stuff going on, especially this time of year. The spokesperson telling us that Amazon takes an aggressive stance on recording injuries of every scale, no matter how small, which is why some of these numbers might seem so high, and that the company has invested 1 million hours of safety training in the last year alone, and about $55 million in safety improvement projects. So, the number might seem high there. Amazon says, we take every injury seriously, and we're constantly working on safety.
Yeah, when you look at the number of employees, nearly 1,000, I believe, at the end of last year at Amazon here in Fall River alone, having 125 injuries. In first blush, to me, I thought that was actually a good number, because if you get so many people working there, it's a warehouse. There's so many moving parts, literally in terms of machinery, but also people moving back and forth, moving the inventory to be shipped out. But as you said, it was actually middle of the pack in terms of the Amazon fulfillment centers across the country. But still, there's a lot of these warehouses. Injuries are, I think it's probably rare, if at all impossible, to go a full year without some sort of an accident that may happen, just because of whatever the factors are. It's just amazing that we don't hear more of these, and that goes back to what Amazon had said in your reporting, Phil, that that is a high priority for them. So it's very interesting to see that. I actually thought the number was a little low when I read it, but
yeah, it's interesting. I guess Santa's workshop is a very busy place, and I think it's. I've never been in there, but I think it's a pretty delicate ballet you have to perform when you're navigating all of those rows and rows and rows products and trying to get them out to people on time.
Right, right. I do want to stress that any accident is, an accident that an individual has to go through, and it's not anything that is wanted and looked at as in an organization. But with what was happening at these facilities, the number is always interesting to look at and can be judged by a number of different angles. All right, let's move on to another story this week. Actually, it dovetails a little bit into some future economic development opportunities for the city of Fall River. We reported just last month, I believe, that the City Council voted to create a cultural district here in the city of Fall River, where earlier this fall, a project was undertaken by the Rhode Island School of Design, working with local volunteers from Youth Experiencing Art and Hope on collecting data on what could be some improvements for the city, and those sort of pie-in-the-sky ideas came out at an event last night at Heritage State Park.
Yeah, there are a lot of folks here in our city with great ideas, but I think it's always interesting to hear the ideas from people out of town who might not be as familiar with the city, coming in with sort of a fresh perspective, a fresh set of eyes. And that's what's happened with a group of architecture students from RISD in Providence who have spent the last couple of months at least working on concepts to potentially improve infrastructure in the city. There's no guarantee that any of their proposals, I think there were 11 in total shown Wednesday night here in the city, no guarantee that any of them will be seen to fruition, but they did get a lot of people talking at the Heritage State Park building, according to our reporter Peter Jasinski. Among the proposals, there's one to turn Gramada Plaza across from Government Center into more of a friendly gathering space, and in fact we have a rendering of what that might look like. There was an idea to connect Ruggles Park with the Quequechan River Rail Trail, concepts for pedestrian pathways, landscaping, gardens, just to improve the look and feel of the city for everybody. One person came up with a phone app that is sort of in the vein of Pokemon Go. I don't know if you remember that,
yeah,
but it would
absolutely.
be geared toward getting kids up and moving around the city. Another student came up with a branding logo that we could put on things and sell, featuring, of course, the Braga Bridge and the battleship. So some really cool things to come out of this. And as for what's going to happen with this stuff now, well, sometimes these proposals come and everybody gets excited about them and they go and they sit on a shelf and collect dust. We don't know what will happen with this, but the RISD professor who worked with these students says, maybe the right person will hear about it, connect with it, and then it'll gather some community support and potential investment, and could see some of these become a reality, Keith.
Yeah, it's interesting to see when you've got, in this case, students, and I would think that not many of those students are necessarily from this region, so sometimes it's good to get those fresh eyes on getting some ideas, and could spark some activity here in Fall River. So it was actually good to see that these students were thinking outside the box in some ways to try to improve the lifestyle here in Fall River. And speaking about improving the lifestyle here in Fall River, I want to give a little bit of promotion to the Herald News and what has been going on, Phil, at the paper for a number of years. The Herald News Holiday Fund, well underway, raising funds for local organizations and local charity work here in Fall River. Tell us a little bit about this year's fund and what goals the paper may have, and what will the money be used for.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Yeah, we're really excited about this, as we are every year. The Holiday Fund has been a tradition here at the Herald News for years and years. I'm not exactly sure how many, but I know it's been a long time, and that it's endured thanks to the generosity of our readers and the community at large. We team up with Citizens for Citizens and the Salvation Army to raise money for the services that they both provide. We split the money we raise evenly between them at the end of every holiday season. And both of those organizations obviously are helping local families in need. So we're up and running. We kicked off in late November. And we've raised a few $1,000s so far. Of course, we're hoping for more. We're appreciative of whatever people wish to donate. We know this can be a challenging time of year for people. So we're accepting checks here at the Herald News. I'll give the address. We're at 207 Pecasset Street in Fall River. Checks should be made out to the Herald News Holiday Fund. And we know that people don't do it for recognition. They do it out of the kindness of their hearts. But we are recognizing our donors online and in print throughout the season. And this weekend, in fact, on Saturday, is the return of a cool tradition, the annual Festival of Trees,
Right.
Which we're putting up in collaboration with the Creative Arts Network here in the city. That's Saturday, December 14th at Government Center, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. You come see some really cool trees. You meet Santa Claus. Maybe get some gifts wrapped for free. That'll take some pressure off of you. And, how that ties into the fund is some nonprofits and businesses, are decorating those trees, and proceeds from them support the fund. So
Right.
Giving feels good, and we appreciate the generosity that everyone's showing us.
Yeah, so please do take part in the Festival of Trees. There's also a number of other holiday events throughout this weekend. It's probably one of the busiest weekends in terms of holiday events in our region. We'll be talking about some of those a little bit later on in our newscast. All right, Phil, what's coming up over the next few days?
So end of the year wrap-up stuff is happening everywhere, and we're no different. We're actually going to be highlighting some of our newsmakers of the year coming up over the next week or so, and that will culminate in our big newsmaker of the year, which we'll have out at the end of December.
All right, very good. All right, Phil, we'll talk next week. Take care.
Thank you, Keith. You too.
We'll have more right after this.
Here are some job descriptions on the latest hot jobs list from the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center. Graphic designer, medical information technology, located at 101 Martin Street, is looking to hire a full-time graphic designer to produce high-quality print and presentation materials and electronic content for promotional graphics. Job number 129-323-86. Audiologist. Physicians Resource Network, located at 218 Shove Street, is looking for a full-time audiologist to examine patients who have hearing, balance, or related ear problems and diagnose and administer treatment. Job number 129-322-44. Dishwasher, LePage's Seafood and Grill, located at 439 Martin Street, is looking for a full-time or part-time dishwasher to operate an industrial dishwasher, carry out basic cleaning tasks, and assist cooks and servers as needed. Job number 129-313-86. St. Anne's Hospital, located at 795 Middle Street, is looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. Medical Lab Technician, job number 129-29793. Pharmacy Technician, job number 129-29789. Argosy Charter School, located at 263 Hamlet Street, is also looking to fulfill the following full and part-time positions. 8th grade ELA teacher, job number 129-32507. Middle school vice principal, job number 129-32252. For more information on these or other positions, visit Mass Hire JobQuest at jobquest.dcs.eol.mass.gov or call the Mass Hire Fall River Career Center at 508-730-5000.
Welcome back. There's a new home of the Fall River Recovery Reconnection Center. The purpose of the RCC is to offer mental health and social service support to residents suffering from opioid and alcohol addiction. The RCC is now located at 649 Bedford Street, and this is what's now being offered.
Our staff has certified peer specialists and certified recovery coach. So when you come in, you can have one-on-one services with them or partake and participate in our groups, which range from addictions A through Z, dual recovery, anonymous parenting, painting. We have a whole spectrum of different classes and groups that we offer here, and obviously the one-on-one services to connect people to clinicians and mental health and substance use other services.
Are the clients ever referred here by other agencies?
Yes, so Corrigan and a couple others have been referring to us, like Bay Cove and River to Recovery, and the problem is that a lot of people didn't know about the RCC for so long. So that is really where we're working now, to have interagency collaboration and get the word out that we're here, and we're totally free and confidential, and you can come in, have a safe place where you can have a coffee and a snack and talk about what you're going through. Our artwork hanging up is all done by the peers themselves, either in our painting classes or just when they're here hanging out. We love for our peers that we serve to express themselves, and usually the best way to do that is through art. So we proudly show off all their work.
Now you're saying peers rather than clients. Why is that?
Because everyone that's hired at the RCC is also a mental health person in recovery or substance use person in recovery as well. So we can totally 100% identify, and we're all equal. So this is for the people, by us people.
St. Vincent Services in Fall River, a nonprofit agency offering a wide variety of social service programs for families and children, is seeking Christmas gifts for the agency's residential youth. Here's what items are still needed.
The easiest way for us at this point, being that we're right around the corner from the holiday, is our website has a list of items that we've gone through the youth's wish lists, and those are the most popular items. So we've put them all together on one list so you can look. Any of the items on that list can be given to the youth here for Christmas morning, and I promise you they'll be excited to get them. The other area that is extremely helpful for us are gift cards. So Visa gift cards, Target, Walmart, Old Navy are popular. We use the gift cards in two different ways. So if we don't have a gift in-house that's been donated for the youth, we'll take the gift card and go purchase an item that we can wrap and give them on Christmas morning. Or with our older youth, it really is a teaching tool for us. So we use the gift cards as a money management tool. So they learn how to look at the price, to figure out what they can get, what they can't get, and how they can efficiently use the gift card to help them with their needs. So really, for us, the gift cards are just as important as the actual items that we might receive.
Meanwhile, Sister Helen, who has worked at St. Vincent's for decades, was asked what happens to the youth after the gifts are opened on Christmas morning.
The magical moment for these children on Christmas Day takes your breath away. It's when the last package has been opened, and then we're back to routine and staff and the reality of what it is to be here at St. Vincent's for these children. It brings you back to a moment of, I guess it's called sadness. You don't want to think of it that way, but you see that the light in their eyes isn't as bright because it's now back to they don't have the family that they wish were right there. They could have done without the presents if they had only had a mom and a dad or other people in the family to be with them.
Last week, we provided a sneak peek of one of the 6 Christmas trees on display at the Fall River Historical Society this holiday season. Tonight, we provide another preview to entice residents to visit the museum during this holiday season.
The tree in the music room this year is pretty stunning with loads of color. And it's decorated with blown glass facsimiles of the Fabergé eggs that were commissioned by Alexander III and Nicholas II, Tsars of Russia. They were commissioned by Fabergé in 1885. The last one was right before the Revolution in 1917. They go for millions of dollars on the auction market today, and this tree is a tribute to the beauty of the artistry of Fabergé.
We'll have more FRC Media News right after this. The
thank you for considering a homeless pet today. I hope you enjoy what you're about to see, and as always, please feel free to contact the shelter before coming down to make sure that the pets you're viewing are still available for adoption. We can be reached at 508-677-9154.
Hi, welcome to Hot Dogs and Cool Cats. Today we have Max, which should be short for Maximum Cat, because he is a big cat. He is black and white, as you can see. He's a long hair, though some parts right now are longer than others. He's a very friendly guy, as you can see. He absolutely loves his attention, particularly head scratches, chin scratches, that sort of thing. He'll just keep coming back. He'll keep coming back for more. He'd do well with kids, as you can see. He is a big guy, but he's very gentle, and he does like anyone that's going to give him any kind of attention. And as you probably know, kids, they'll give a kitty plenty of attention. So if you want to come down and meet Max, you can come down to 300 Linwood Street in Fall River, Massachusetts at Forever Paws Animal Shelter.
Today we have Quimby. Quimby is a 4-year-old terrier mix. Quimby can be a little nervous, so he would do best in a home with no children, someone who's nice and quiet. Quimby can be a little anxious. You'll see him running around in circles a lot. He's not trying to catch his tail. It's just his anxiety. But once he's in a calm home where he knows he's going to stay, he may calm down and stop doing that after a while. So if you want to see Quimby, come on down to Forever Paws, 300 Linwood Street, and say hello.
Welcome back. Our sister station, FRG-TV, last week provided coverage of the 38th annual Fall River Children's Christmas Parade held last weekend. The parade kicked off at Kennedy Park, down South Main Street, and ended at Government Center. The event was organized by Greater Fall River Recreation. This year, Anne-Marie Holly co-hosted the coverage with FRG-TV's Pamela Martin. Here's a look back.
We have a great parade lined up today. We have a ton of marching bands, music coming from a bunch of different floats, over 25 floats with us today. All of the marching groups, we have all participation from every single public school in Fall River, so all of the elementary schools, the middle schools, and we have Durfee joining us, more than just the high school band this year, so we're really excited to welcome them as well.
We've talked before about how it really is a fluid, moving object, right?
Yes.
Folks want to join at the last minute. Some folks drop out.
Yes.
So you've really got to be flexible. I think that's the name of the game, not only as moms, but as workers, organizers, life.
That's for sure. Yes, and we get changes all the way up until right before the parade, and even as it's coming down the street, people are kind of being jumping in when they can. So.
Well, you can see the kids are excited. This is why you do this every year.
Every single year. It's worth all of the stress and craziness of the week leading up to it, to see the smiling faces on the kids that turn out.
Well, we've talked too about how it's really put our city on the map. It's been a premier event.
Yes.
Definitely one of the largest Christmas parades in New England.
That's right.
And I think to be a part of that is so exciting to kick off the Christmas season here.
That'll do it for this edition of FRC Media News. You can catch FRC Media News Thursdays and Fridays at 6 p.m. and online at our website, frcmedianews.org. This week, we will leave you with the lighting of the Christmas tree at Government Center that took place following the Children's Parade last Saturday. I'm Keith Tebow. Have a great week. Thanks for watching.
10.